So welcome from a very warm and sunny Mykonos, Lima Golf Mike Kilo. We're in the Leonardo Maddog MD-80. We're going to be flying to Hatay, Lima Tango Delta Alpha. And we'll be taking off from runway 34 because there's a wind, which we'll go through the wind in a moment. It's a northerly wind. And then departure with a left turn out after we've cleaned up to go overhead the island and then out to the east. And when we get to Hatay, there are mountains just to the west of Hatay, and there's a VOR DME approach into runway 22, which we'll be doing, and it'll necessitate a hold at the co-located VOR in Hatay, Hotel Tango Yankee, and we'll do a hold once around the block. I think that'll probably be enough, and then outbound to complete the VOR DME. So I hope you'll find it interesting. The Leonardo Maddog is a very accomplished aircraft. I highly recommend it. It's got a huge reputation for being just a bad boy, but really once you get to know it, it's your best friend. It's a wonderful piece of virtual engineering, and very capable. The only thing I'm not sure about is it's very silent on the flight deck. That is true to life, they say. I've only ever been in the back, where it's definitely not silent. But anyway, without further ado, let's have a quick look around the airport though. Not a cloud in the sky. It's sort of high 20s in temperature, so it's a hot day. Anyway, let's get on with the flight. So the first thing first is we'll get the battery on, and then we'll guard the battery. Then we'll get the start master on, and fuel pump right after fuel pump, and then we'll get the APU fired up. So on it goes. Then we'll get the nav light on. So hopefully the APU will spring into action as it is doing. I've already started the EFB because I needed to open the doors, but that's all that I have done. So what we'll do now is we'll go to the OFP and bring in the flight plan from SimBrief. We'll go to the weight and balance and do the same. So it loads the fuel and the passengers, and then we can go back into the aircraft services and start boarding, and that's what we'll do now. So we fueled up, so we can get the seat belts on, the emergency lighting on, and yeah, we got the APU running, so APU's coming on, the gens are coming on. Get the galley power on, otherwise they'll complain that there's nothing to heat the lunches with. And get the air on. Air conditioning can go to cold, and we'll set the air conditioning now. We'll have a quick look at the weather at the destination, and it is hang on, that's Mykonos. Let's go to Hatay, shall we? There we go, Hatay. So it is 1004, and for the QNH, we need the airport elevation, Hatay, and it is 262, so that's what we need to get set here in the overhead. So 1008 and get set. There we go, and it's 264 in altitude. Okay, that's set. So we're all good. APU's fired up, so we can just switch off the start pump, and they can all board in peace and quiet in the back. We're going to switch off the yoke, don't need that, and on the FMC we'll go to POS in it, and we'll type in the ICAO code for Mykonos, Lima Golf Mike Kilo, and that agrees pretty much with the reference. We'll just put in the GNS position. That's good. Now, it didn't bring in the route happily from Simbrief, so we're going to do that manually. So we'll have a quick look at the route now. So Lima Tango Delta Alpha. We'll look at the route. Let's try that again. There we go. So Mykonos, Hatay, flight to the east, and the route is there. I'm going to just take it off screen so that I can see it, and you won't be able to. So there we go. Right, so the departure, runway 34, and it's on the LETSO Delta, and we can set that. We go to the route page, and then we, after LETSO, we go to AKINA. That can go there. Then go next page. AKINA, it's an airway, Uniform Lima 995. Uniform Lima 995. Go left one. And then we've got KOPAR, Kilo Oscar Papa Alpha Romeo. Then we've got a direct to KOS, the island pre-current to KOS. Then we've got a direct to, I think it's YUNUS. Oops, Yankee Uniform November Uniform Sierra. Hang on, it's not need to do KOS there. Then we do YUNUS. Then we've got direct to Dalaman, Delta Alpha Lima. After Dalaman we've got Uniform Uniform Whiskey 79. So Uniform Whiskey 79. Get Dalaman selected. That Uniform Whiskey 79 can go into left 5, and then we've got a YT Talia. Then we go next page, and we've got UR55 Uniform Romeo 55, and that goes to Mike Uniform Tango. That's quite appropriate for the Maddog, isn't it? And then we've got Alpha Delta Alpha, which is where we pick up the arrival. So Alpha Delta Alpha, the top one, I think. 112.7, I think. Just checking it. 112.7. That's left one. Okay, and we're going to activate that. Press execute. Let's get the arrival in. So that is going to be on the ADA 1 uniform, and it's the VOR Zulu 1822. Okay, press execute. So if we go to the next page, and we scroll down, just make sure there's no discontinuities, and you'll see that there is no hold at Hatay. There is a hold at the end because the missed approach takes you back to this VOR, so the hold that is shown here is the missed approach. So we want to add another hold. We want to do hold at Hatay there, and I'll just bring the chart in, the VOR 22, and there's the hold. So it's a left hand hold, inbound 035. So Hatay we can put there. So this is 035 / left, and speed is max 230. So we'll put that in. That's computer, so fair enough. Okay, press execute. So now in our legs page we should have Hatay with a hold. There we go, Hatay with a hold. And we're going to put in an arrival altitude. We're going to put 12,000 there. Okay, and press execute. Right, so let's get SimBrief Planner up. Bring the flight plan in. We'll go to the init page. We'll look at the payload. So our fuel is 8.8, and it's a normal schedule /n. The zero fuel weight is 48 in fact, 48.0. The reserves 3.2. Cost index, we're going to go 125, we're in a hurry. And cruise altitude, we're quite light today, so we're going to go 350, see if it complains. No, that seems to be okay. Go to the weather, and the top of climb wind is 202 at 4. Very light winds. No, that's 282. Try that again, 202 at 4. And the top of climb ISO deviation is 15, so plus 1.5 deviation goes there. It's 6,000 feet for the transition altitude. Let's go to the takeoff page, and now we need to get these numbers sorted out in the EFB. So go to the weight balance, we look at the takeoff weight, which is 56,457, 56,450. Let's do 56,450. So let's go to performance, takeoff weight 56,450, and then we do airport Lima Golf Mike Kilo, do runway 34, and what we want is the weather. So I'm just looking at this very quickly off screen. So the weather, the wind is that's Hatay, we want Mykonos. So the wind is 010 at 17 knots. So wind 010 at 17, that's going to help. The temperature is 27. QNH is 1012. 012, and that's done. So now we press calculate and get rid of the SimBrief panel. So flap 19.5, assumed temperature 39, V speeds 20, 24, 33. So 120, 124, 133. Okay, so let's just see how the passenger loading is going. In fact, they're all aboard. Okay, now we can't close the aft stair because the hydraulic system is not pressurized yet. The chocks are on, so we're safe to just put the hydraulic pump on. Let's go back to our driving seat. We'll do aft stair. Let's see if we can get it to. There we go. It's closing up nicely now. There it goes. Okay, so 19.5 we want for flap, and let's go back to weight and balance, and the CFG, takeoff CFG is 17.1, so 19.5, that goes here. We move this until we read, oops, let's do that again, 19.5. This is the McDonnell Douglas dialer flap. It's absolutely brilliant. Right, so 17.1 for the CFG. We need to change the flap setting here just slightly to get a 19.5, which we have. There we go. and it's saying the long trim is between 0.6 and 0.7. So let's go a bit more in the middle so we can see. So let's bring this down between 0.6 and 0.7, and that looks about right to me. Okay, so let's get back into the driving seat. 1012 is the Q&H. Get 1012 we've got set, and we'll give ourselves a squawk code 2526. We go to TA. Lovely. And we're just going to switch the V speeds on and click on the car. No, you click on the bugs to get them set. So they're set now. We want V2 plus 10, so 143. We'll set that as our speed. We'll switch on our left flight director first, and that one there. Make sure the autopilot is set to captain's side. What we want now is the performance page, because we had a flex of 39. Not a flex, it's an assumed temperature. So, actually, no, they did call it a flex. Look at that. So we switched the art off, get flex on, and we just move the flex to the assumed temperature 39. There we go. So now when we hit Togo, we'll have the right EPR, and we just set the standby AI. That's all set. ATC have very kindly given us a initial clearance of flight level 150. We'll just do a quick briefing on the departure. The heading for our departure runway is 337, so we'll get that dialed in. Okay, 337. We can lock our door, and let's get a briefing done for the departure. So I'll just bring that graph across. Okay, so runway 34 departure, heading 336. Climb out at 4 DME. It's a left turn, max speed 210, so we'll go speed intervention, and max bank angle 15. Okay, and that will give us a turn radius that should bring us back overhead the fields. Now, this is not a very good low speed aircraft. Well, actually not that bad, to be honest, but that bank angle there might just take us a bit further south. So we'll just be ready for that. So max angle 15 degrees we've got set, and what we can do now, make sure our brake is on, which it is. We've got the APU running, so we'll switch off the APU, sorry, the packs. We can get start system B, start pump, switch all the pumps on, and that's all good. Then we can get the pneumatic cross feeds set, and projected takeoff on the auto brake. Okay, so we've got start clearance. I'm just going to put progress page on the second FNC, and I think we're good to get going. So we put our beacon on, which also takes away the chocks. So now we're chocked. Actually, we're going to need a pushback. When I did this earlier, we didn't have all this ground gun because I didn't have the scenery loaded. So let's get a pushback sorted out. Pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
And we want Mykonos 110.0 set on the radio for the RMI. So 110.0 set. So we should have that now. There you go, it's just come in. It's the single needle there, because it's on box 1. The double needle will be box 2. Okay, so we're good for startup. We just need a pushback.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
So start pump is on. We're going to just get ready to start number 2 since we got clearance
We are
to do
cleared
that.
for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brake is off.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, so we're pushing back. So let's just bring number 2 online. So we should see it spooling up. We're looking for 22. We've got oil pressure registering. 21 and 22 we have. Fuel's coming on. So we have fuel flow, we have EGT rising, there we go, and a good start. Right, so I can switch that one off. We get number 1 going now. So again we're looking for 22. And there's not a sound up here, it's very eerie. You think you've forgotten something, maybe like the engines. 16, 17, 18.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
22 we have.
Parking brake
Fuel
set.
coming
Lowering
on.
aircraft.
So
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Cleared to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding
Okay.
position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
there we go. So both generators are on. Let's just check that the truck is driving away so we can get rid of the pushback. Now we can go up here. We can switch off the starter, switch off the fuel, the start pump, go to both for takeoff, switch off the APU generators, switch off the APU air, switch off the APU. I'm going to switch on the packs and get the heat and pitot and static port heat on. Close the pneumatic cross feeds, and now we need to look for 19.5 degrees of flap. So that's going to be just about here. Oh, I think one more stage. There we go, one more stage. So that's 19.5. So we've got the right number of degrees set for our flaps. Right, taxiing. Go to Tara, and we can put taxi light on, and click the park brake off, and we should be rolling, because this aircraft, it will just taxi a little bit on residual thrust. But of course that's not enough, so we'll give it a little bit more. Okay, that's all good. So we'll just come to a quick stop here at the hold. Okay, so we've got clearance to line up, so I need to look around. So we're clear from the north, clear from the south, and we can get our landing lights on and our strobe light can come on, And now we can taxi. So there's a short backtrack here at Mykonos. Now we don't need weather radar today. We don't really even need terrain radar. So we'll keep both of those off. Both of those are functional in the Maddog, which I'm pleased to say. Do wish PNBG would do the same, and Phoenix, because some weather radar is better than no weather radar. If that's all we've got, then that's all we've got. Until such time we've got more, in which case they can implement a better system. But until they've got weather radars, I just feel their products are incomplete. So, backtracking, let's have a quick reminder of the departure. So it's takeoff from, we're heading 4 miles, left turn, max speed 210, max bank angle 15, left turn, back overhead, Mykonos. Right, so let's see how we're doing. So we're going to line up by driving off to the, taxiing off to the right hand side, and then do a left, sweeping left turn, because we're on the left and we get a better view. Okay, so power coming off for a moment. This is a very long aircraft. Okay, so power is off, but I've just added a bit of number 2 engine, even though the asymmetrical thrust isn't very distinctive on this because the engines are so close together. It will at least help a little bit. So round we go, round we go, round we go, round we go. Okay, so we are set. If I press my toga, I set my flight director ready and get auto brake armed, switch on our timer, and let's spool them up. So bringing them up. Okay, they're stable. And spoilers, I forgot the spoilers.
Takeoff thrust set.
Okay, so let's keep that centre line. Wind is coming slightly from our right, 17 knots. So into wind aileron we have. So V1. Rotate.
Positive rating.
Gear coming up. Try and get that nose down. Goodness me, I've got to really push it forward. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Get wings level. So we're going to go to nav. We're going to go autopilot on. We're going to go to speed, indicated airspeed, and we're going to climb out at 180 to start with until we've cleaned up a bit. So 180 we've got set. I'm going to zoom in on the nav display a moment. There we go. So the aircraft will stay until I clean up a little bit. So cleaning up, so one stage of flap up, aircraft will speed up a little bit now. Put climb power on, so we switch the art back on, climb power coming on.
Stabilizer motion.
And we do want indicated airspeed mode, come on. There we go. Right, another stage, we're just starting our left turn. We've got max bank angle 1.5 dialed in. We're at 180 now on the speed, and we might just stay at 180 for a moment. Just going to bring my heading bug around. Always good practice to do that. And just monitor how this turn goes. It's cutting it a bit, cutting a corner there. Naughty Maddog. Right. That's probably because we're a bit slow. So let's dial in 210 on the speed and clean up. So 210 dialed in. And one more stage of flap. Spoilers to go.
Flap 0.
Spoilers coming up. And just
Slats
centre
retracted.
fuel pressure is low, so we just switch off the centre tanks. Slats retracted. Now the aircraft is heading nicely towards Mykonos. Did cut the corner though, I'm a bit surprised at that. Fair enough, I don't mind really. We'll switch off those. Clean up. Retract our landing lights and our nose gear. And we'll keep it at 210. We're now passing 8,000 on the QNH, so we should go up to the standard pressure because the transition was 6,000 if you remember. So we're still heading towards Mykonos. There's the needle there. And as soon as we get past that, we know we're just on the outbound leg. All in all, I think it did quite well on that. And so we're just coming up past 10,000, and to be fair, I'm going to put it in VNAV mode, and the aircraft will now accelerate to probably around 300, something like that, its best climb speed, and off it goes. Okay, so let's do some more after takeoff check. So we switch off the auto brake. Transponder is on. Anything up here to be done? No, but we can let them out of their seats. Okay, so we're all good. Everybody's happy. Aircraft's behaving nicely. And we can just zoom out on the map a little bit. Okay, so there's not much more to do. ATC have been very kind. They've just said, oi chaps, you can go up to your cruise. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go up to 350, and 350 we've got, and I pull, there we go, and it's come with the level there. So we are on climb power, 350 is set. So you set something up here on the MCP, you check it on the scoreboard. Then we've got nav and VNAV. So we're all good. And we can just enjoy the ride now. The airplane will do pretty much everything until we get to the other end. Then we've got to roll our sleeves up again. So I'll see you again in the cruise. So welcome back. You rejoin the flight. We're about 40 or so miles from top of descent, and everything's been fine. So we'll click on the takeoff card here to get the landing data. Landing full flaps 40, which is 131 plus of 136 would give ourselves for the landing speed. So we've got 130. Yeah, that'll do, I guess. Okay, so let's have a quick brief on the approach. So let's go to this is the star, and there's not much to say about it. It's a straight line, 2 waypoints direct to Hatay, HTY. And so we need to get 112.05 dialed in. We did that in the earlier segment. So let's look at the approach. So the approach is overhead Hatay, outbound on the 035 radial, 12 miles, descending 4,800, overhead 8,500. So descending down to 4,800, then we do a procedure turn, so 1 minute outbound, 60 degree off track, and then we do 180, come back to re-establish in a 215 radial inbound, descending 2,700 feet for the final approach fix, and then we do a 140 knot descent, fully configured, and that's about 850 to 900 feet per minute descent. Prior to that though, we're just going to enter the hold, because we've got dialed in, if you remember, flight level 120, so we're going to enter the hold. I'm not quite sure what the Maddog is going to do here, because it should be a parallel entry from the direction we're coming in. So outbound on the 215, then a right turn back towards the beacon inbound, and then follow it once around the block. But it did something a bit odd the other day. Sort of came out on the reciprocal, and then did a sort of a prescribed turn like this. So up, out, back, and then towards the VOR. So not quite sure. It's going to be a surprise, I think. So 112.05. We'll just check that we've got that set. No, we don't. So let's get that done now. 112.05. We've got both boxes. Okay, and the outbound course was 035. So we want that set first of all. Okay, so that's the outbound leg, descending 8,500 to 4,800 feet. And the transition altitude is 10,000. Okay, so we're about 30 or so to run to top of descent. We're on VNAV, so what we're going to do, we're going to dial in flight level 120, and the aircraft will begin its descent. Because it's on VNAV, we don't need to do any more than that. Go back to the charts one more time. Here's the airport, so we're coming in runway 22, so we've got plenty of space. It's 3,000 meters, so auto brake 1 will be, or low will be more than adequate. So we'll just get that set up. So low. Okay, so I think we're all good. It's got the hold shown here, but of course that could be the missed approach, which we should brief on, of course. So missed approach is outbound 215, left turn 004 to take up the hold at Hatay. So climb on radial 215 to cross 2,300 feet, turn left, proceed on radial 184 inbound to 8,500 feet and hold. That is the minimum hold altitude, 8,500. So we're now coming in at flight level 120, so then we will descend and hold at 8,500 on the QNH, which I guess we should find. So Hatay weather, present QNH 1005, and the winds are, oh gosh, 230, 24 knots. Okay, well that's pretty much down the runway, but it is quite strong. Okay, so we're just at top of descent. Zoom in a little bit on the map. So let's get the heading bug set up. Always good practice if you watch my videos to set the heading bug to your current track. So top of descent is probably about 5 miles away, and as I said, the aircraft will come down. So we're on cruise power setting at the moment. Not that it's making any difference to how the aircraft is performing, just it changes the maximum EPR. Right, so we are now 1 hour 22 into the flight. Let's just zoom out a little bit on the map, because the map's not showing anything here, it's just showing the magenta line. It doesn't give you any other reference, so let's zoom out until we've got something. Otherwise it's not showing you anything useful, is it? So there we go. So we've got about 40, 50, 60 to run, and we just start our descent, passing 340 for 120. And we're a little bit fast at the moment. The aircraft will slow down to catch up, I'm sure. It's very good at vertical navigation. Okay, so it's going to be a flaps 40 landing, auto brake low. So we are at the moment, let's have a quick look outside, just enjoy the view. So those are the mountains. Hatay is just to the east of these mountains here. So 1 or 2 clouds, but don't need the weather radar. Could put the terrain radar on, but I'm not even sure we need that, because the visibility is fine. So as soon as Hatay comes this side of the 40-degree arc here on the map, we'll zoom in on the nav display. Zoom in. Okay, so I can see 2 holds prescribed here. I'm a bit curious about the entry, so I would expect to do a parallel entry here. So we're passing flight level 260, 250 will get them strapped in. And the maximum speed in the hold is 230 knots. Okay, so 250. Seatbelts coming on. I didn't switch the ignition off. I'll put that back onto both when we get below 10,000. Very remiss of me. Oops. Can't remember what we said the QNH was. Hatay 1005. Temperature 31. Okay. We're going to fly the VOR approach, old school style. We'll actually fly it on the VOR with the radials, old school style. And again now I can zoom in on the map a little bit when Hatay, the VOR, comes closer than the 20-degree arc. Okay, we've got the airport in sight. Down there. So how high are these mountains? So we've got peak of about 5,900 feet here, 5,200 feet here, so, and the airport is at 260 feet. So yeah, they're pretty high. Good 5,000 feet. So we're descending to a flight levels. We can't put QNH on yet, but when we go around the hold we will. Zooming in on the map, one more notch, there we go. So I don't know what it's going to do. It's going to be a bit of lottery, but we could hand fly the hold entry. That might be quite a good idea. I wonder if that will upset it though. I don't think I want to do. Get the airplane systems in a mess, so maybe I'll see what it does and I'll intervene if I need to. That's my plan. So 16 for 160 for 120. We've got the green banana here. It's showing me that we are going to get to Hatay at level 120. But we will probably need to intervene on the speed. So we go speed intervention. We'll dial in 230. 230 we've got set. So just give it a little bit of a spoiler. When I say a little bit, I mean full spoilers. We need to wash off some of that speed, and we can zoom in one more on the map. There we go. So let's see what it's got in store for us. This bit of the magenta line here is the missed approach, I think. So I'm expecting aircraft to go overhead Hatay, which is right here in the middle, turn to the right on a westerly heading, then turn to, and then turn to the right, describe a circle, come back over Hatay to the east. Let's see what it does. So we're 230 in the speed brake can come in. So we're just going over Hatay. both needles, from pointing up to pointing down. Okay, so let's see what it does. So we are level now, 120. So we won't reduce any further altitude until we are in the hold itself, and we want to go down to 8,500. So it's 3,500 feet to lose. Okay, so let's get the heading bug aligned with our track. So it looks like it started its turn back towards Hatay. Keep pace with the heading knob. So it is doing a parallel entry. That's good. And it comes. Come all the way around now on a parallel path back overhead Hatay and then left into the hold. And as we turn left, we'll reduce our altitude from 12,120 to 8,500 as shown on the chart, which is the minimum hold altitude at 230 knots. Okay, so we'll stay with 230 knots. Just zoom in on display one more notch. I can't, that's maximum zoom. That was nicely flown. Good. Not sure I could have done a better job, really. So, Hatay. Well, now we go and pass Hatay. So we can then call establish and hold. And these needles move. There we go. So now we can descend 8,500 and we can go down vertical speed mode. We'll go down 1,800 feet per minute. Let's see how we get on. So now we're coming down to an altitude. We can dial in 1005. Yep. 1005. I think we should easily get to 8,500 feet QNH 1005 this time around, so we can arm the exit, but I'll just make sure that we will get down below that. I normally wouldn't put the landing lights on if you've got clearance to land, but I will put them on just to increase our visibility. We're in the shadow of a mountain and there is other traffic and source, so let's get the landing lights on. Just check up top, we'll get the ignition on. Okay. We can't arm the speed brake yet, not until the gear is out and the flaps are full. Which is always a bit awkward because you've got to look over here, the corner of the pedestal, click that switch and then look back as you're on finals. So yeah, not so easy. Right, let's get that heading bug sorted out. At the moment it's on, I need to set it to the reciprocal to, oops, I got it, 215. Okay, so we're just levelling off at 8,000 to 500. So let's go to the hold page. Exit the hold. Exit is armed, so we'll stay with this page. The aircraft will continue around the hold till it gets to Hatay, Hotel Tango Yankee, and then it'll carry on outbound. So let's get our heading bug sorted out. This needs to be on 035. We won't fly on the heading bug, we will fly on the VOR. So 8,500, we're going to stay with 230. That's just above our flap speed, so we're clean at the moment and that's fine. So exit is armed. Let's just check our fuel. We've got fuel 4,500 and our minimum I think was 3.2. So we are at the moment good. Our reserve is 3.2, I should say. Okay, so back towards Hatay. The RMI is showing that, as is the nav display. Okay. So the next event is that we will descend to 4,800. We can dial that in. 4,800, set and checked. So the aircraft will now fly over Hatay and it should carry on the outbound course. Exit armed. It's only just a moment or two from completing the hold. I've got my heading bug sorted out just in case it decides not to. I can just quickly go to heading mode. I think we're going to be okay. There we go. So it's out of the hold. Go to our legs page. We're going to change our view to rows. We want to follow the 035 radial, so we go to localizer, VOR localizer mode. And now we can start our descent. So 4,800 dialed in, we can come down at 1,800 feet and we'll have the green banana to help us determine where we're going to be on the descent. So go back to rows, let's have a look at the map, and 12 DME is the point at which we want to start our procedure turn. Now, procedure turn is coming out 035. We're going to take a 60-degree cut off that, so it's going to be 335 degrees for 1 minute. Then we're going to do a right-hand turn, complete 180, to then establish on the inbound 215 radial. Okay, so we're outbound nicely on the 035. We're descending 1800 feet per minute, going a little fast, but that's okay. We don't have a speed restriction on the outbound leg. Let's just check our DME. So we're 6.3 away from Hatay, and we're looking for 12. So what I can do now is to set the heading bug. So 60-degree cut should be about 335. When we get to 12, maybe just slightly before 12. And if I just reduce the rate of descent a bit, maybe the aircraft will have a better chance of staying at a sensible speed. I don't want to be too fast. Things will happen quickly. Okay, so, and we will slow down and clean up a little bit on the outbound leg. So we're looking for 12 miles. So I'm ready with my heading bug. There we go. Heading bug's on. So we're now going to go to the left. I'm going to slow the aircraft down to 180. Okay. We're at 4,800 feet, and there we stay. So I've got the clock on. We're looking for 1 minute on this heading. While we do that, we can just cycle the course around to 215. We've got. So we've got 25 seconds, 35 to go. And we can do, slats can come out.
Slats extended.
And we can do flap on stage. That'll bring on speed back. Okay, so we've got, just came up to the minute. Now I want to go right 180. So that's 155 I'm looking for. We've got, round we go, 155, and the heading bug. There we go, 155. Notice that our DME has crept right up to 17. We started at 12, so it's done another 5 miles. Okay, so we're stable at 180. The next event is that we will establish on the inbound 215 radial with a reasonable 30 or so degrees of intercept. Well, actually it's more like 50, isn't it? That's okay. After that, we descend down to, if you remember, 2,600 by 7 DME. So we can dial in 2,600. 2,600 set and checked. The VOR's coming in, so I'll go to VOR localizer mode. And did I click the right button? Yes, I did. Yeah, so we got VOR captured. So let's just center our heading bug. And now we can descend to 2,600, just do it in vertical speed. Go down maybe 1,200 feet per minute. And that's intercepted it nicely. Okay, so we've got to lose about 2,000 feet in about 8 miles, so easily done. Okay, so just for reference, V-speed, flap 40, 130 plus 5, 135. So we've got, I think it's showing 134 or something like that here. So I'll use that as my reference. And the final approach fix is at 7. Our approach speed will be 140. And so we'll have 850 to 900 feet per minute descent rate at that ground speed. And that should bring us nicely out. So we're going to slow down now, because we're getting so 170. We'll slow down gradually, because at 7 miles we want to be configured. Okay, so one more stage of flap we can do.
Flaps 15.
Okay, and we're at 10 miles. We've got 500 feet to go to get to 2,600. I'll get my nose gear down. The runway is ahead of us. So 7, dear me. And I'm just going to put in about 1,000 for our minimum. Speed can come down to 135. Gear is coming down. Flaps coming to full. 8 miles now. I think not. We can't quite.
Gear down.
Oh yeah, now we
Flaps
can.
28.
So we've got the gear down. So we've put the speed brake on. And flap full. Okay, so 7 miles we've got, just coming up to that now, and we want an 800 to 900 feet per minute descent. So 2,600, and now we can go down. So, oops, I overcooked that a little bit. Let's do that again. There we go, 800 feet per minute descent. Okay, so we're a bit. It's an offset approach. That's fine. Really, no great problem there, and we're looking nice. So let's do some landing checklist. So arm the spoiler, speed brake. The auto brake is set. The lights are on. We've got landing clearance. Hatch and harness and cabin is secure. So we're all good. Put a little bit of cockpit lighting on. I guess it's getting quite dark, isn't it? Let's get some digits up here illuminated. There we go. Right, so autopilot is going to come off now, so we're at our VREF. Autopilot is off. Auto throttle is off. I'm going to match my physical throttles to where the virtual throttles are. Okay, that will help us keep our descent profile. I'm going to adjust speed with pitch, airspeed with pitch, and vertical speed with power. So we're good. Just lining ourselves up because it's an offset approach. Just a bit faster than VREF at the moment. I'll buy that, that's fine. Now we're bang on the money. That's nice. I can't tell you how good an aircraft this is. This is really what it's all about. This airplane makes you work, it makes you think. It's a good good exercise. It's a good tonic for the aviator. So with 2 whites, 2 reds. We're on the money for the speed. We're on the centre line. We're a bit low, so correcting. Now we're okay. And we're going a bit faster now, so just... It is quite windy. I'm finding a bit of a... So over the threshold of around 50, I hope.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20.
Okay, power off. Bring the nose up. Very long fuselage. There we go. Speed brake deployed. Nose gear down. Reversers are on and indicating, and we're slowing. 100 knots we've got. Manual braking coming up after 100. Okay. And the turn off is just coming up here on the right. So spoilers are in. Reversers are in. And we'll just slow down. Here's the turn off.
60 knots.
Okay. Welcome to Hatay. We'll just taxi off. We'll go to the other side of the hold for our shutdown, for our after landing. So, okay, so now we can come to a stop. Okay, so landing lights can come off. Nose lights can go to dim, strobe light can come off, disarm the speed brake, fire the APU up, start master, APU master coming on, wait for it to indicate, there you go, clean up the aircraft, so flaps coming all the way up, spoilers coming in, and we're good to taxi. I'm not quite sure why it's doing that altitude thing. Hatay Airport. Okay, so flaps are up, slats coming up. And 005 we've got set, so I'm not quite sure why it's telling me altitude. I did have 1005 set in the pressurization panel, and the landing altitude was correct, 260, so a bit of an anomaly, I don't really understand it, but it is a Maddog, so I guess that's fine not to understand everything. So let's come up to the marker. Brakes on, okay. Parking brake come on. Nose light can come off. APU gens are on. Run down the main engines and let them out of their seats. Okay. So we've got air on. Let's get the APU air on. Okay, so switch on the EFB, go back to the aircraft page, and let's do aft. Oh, we've got to do the beacon. Let's switch the beacon off. That puts the chocks on. So we do main. Oh, do that again. Forward main, aft stair, forward stair, cargo 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there we go. So welcome to Hatay. I hope you enjoyed that flight. I hope you found it informative, useful, and leave some comments. Okay, take care. See you on the next one. Bye now.